Rome. A name that stirs visions of grand palaces, heroic legions, and unrivaled power. For nearly 1,000 years, the Roman Empire was a force like no other. It was not only a political entity but also a cultural and technological marvel, shaping the world in ways still felt today. Yet, from the pinnacle of its glory, the empire crumbled. Today, we explore how one of the most powerful civilizations in history faded into the annals of time, leaving behind a legacy that still captivates our imagination. The story of Rome begins long before it became an empire, in 753 BCE, with the legendary founding by Romulus and Remus, twins raised by a she-wolf. Rome was nothing more than a small settlement along the Tiber River, inhabited by tribes that were constantly at war with their neighbors. But through resilience, innovation, and a thirst for expansion, Rome would transform into a republic, and later, the most formidable empire the world had ever known. In the 6th century BCE, the Roman kingdom gave way to the Roman Republic. A radical shift in governance, the Republic was founded on the principles of shared power, with elected officials known as consuls leading the charge. The Senate, composed of Rome's elite, governed alongside them, shaping policies and military strategies. It was in this period that Rome expanded its reach across the Italian peninsula, defeating rival tribes and other city-states. The Roman legions, powerful and disciplined, became the cornerstone of Rome's military might. By the 2nd century BCE, Rome was at the apex of power. But with expansion came problems. The Republic, while remarkable in its design, was ill-equipped to manage such a vast territory. Slavery became widespread, fueling Rome's economic prosperity, but also leading to social tensions. Political corruption grew rampant. Wealthy elites, generals, and politicians sought power for themselves, leading to brutal rivalries and even civil war. The most famous of these was the struggle between Gaius Marius and Lucius Sulla. They weren't just generals, they were rivals for Rome's soul. Then came Julius Caesar, whose ambition would irrevocably change Rome's destiny. In 49 BCE, Caesar made a fateful decision. He crossed the Rubicon River with his army, defying the Senate's authority. His famous words, "The die is cast," marked the beginning of the end for the Republic. Caesar's ascent to power was swift and brutal, as he defeated his political opponents in the Senate, won the loyalty of his soldiers, and was eventually declared dictator for life. In 44 BCE, as Caesar solidified his power, tragedy struck. He was assassinated by a group of senators, led by Brutus and Cassius, in an attempt to save the Republic. But the act of betrayal plunged Rome into greater turmoil. The Republic was dead, and in its place, an empire began to take form. Caesar's murder set off a chain reaction. Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal general, and Octavian, his adopted son, fought a bitter civil war. In the end, Octavian emerged victorious, becoming the first Roman emperor under the name Augustus. Under Augustus's reign, Rome entered a period known as the Pax Romana, the Roman peace. This was a time of stability, unparalleled prosperity, and innovation. Augustus reformed Rome's military, secured its borders, and restructured its economy. The empire built roads that connected far-flung provinces, aqueducts that brought fresh water to the cities, and monumental buildings that would stand the test of time. For over 2 centuries, the empire flourished under successive emperors who understood the delicate balance between power and control. But no empire lasts forever. Even during its golden age, Rome faced challenges that would later lead to its decline. The empire became too vast to manage. As the 3rd century AD approached, it was stretched thin by constant warfare, economic strain, and political chaos. Emperors were assassinated by rivals. The Senate, once a noble institution, became a shell of its former self. And while the empire's wealth grew, so did its internal fractures. Rome was about to face a crisis unlike any it had encountered before. The 3rd century AD saw Rome engulfed in crisis. Invading barbarian tribes, including the Goths and the Persians, ravaged the empire's borders. Roman legions were overstretched, unable to defend every front. At the same time, economic turmoil hit. Inflation, devaluation of currency, and a collapsing trade network left the empire vulnerable. The political structure itself crumbled, with emperors rising and falling at an unprecedented rate. In 284 AD, Emperor Diocletian took drastic measures. He divided the empire into 2 parts, east and west, each with its own emperor, hoping to stabilize the crumbling state. Despite Diocletian's efforts, the empire's division only highlighted its growing weaknesses. The Eastern Roman Empire, with its capital in Byzantium, later Constantinople, flourished, but the Western Roman Empire began to falter. The Visigoths, led by Alaric, sacked Rome in 410 AD. The Vandals followed in 455 AD. And in 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire came to an end when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the barbarian Odoacer. The city that had once ruled the known world now lay in ruins, its former glory a distant memory. But Rome's story was far from over. The Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, continued for nearly another 1,000 years. The Byzantine Empire preserved Roman law, culture, and military traditions. Its capital, Constantinople, became a center of Christianity and scholarship. Though it would eventually fall to the Ottoman Turks in 1453, the Byzantine Empire's impact on European culture, politics, and art was immense. Though the Western Roman Empire fell, its legacy is immortal. The ideas of governance, law, and civic duty that Rome introduced are the foundation of much of the modern world. Roman architecture and engineering continue to influence us. The very concept of a republic, as conceived by the Romans, has inspired democratic systems across the globe. Even in the ruins of Rome, we see the enduring power of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. Rome may have fallen, but the lessons of its rise and fall are timeless. Empires rise, and empires fall, but the stories they leave behind help guide us forward. In the echoes of Rome, we find not only the greatness of the past but the seeds for the future. Rome may be gone, but its influence lives on, a testament to the incredible journey of human civilization.